Welcome. You are new to the channel, and this is my first video in a new series just called Talk WWE, and that's what I'm here to talk about. I'm just talking about one of my favorite things, and that is wrestling, and more particularly WWE wrestling. I've been a fan of it pretty much my entire life since I was about 5 years old, and I watched it with a group of my cousins, and I've just been a diehard fan ever since. And I'm very excited this year, this is why I've decided to start this show right now, is because we are approaching WrestleMania 40, which is tomorrow night and Sunday night, and I wanted to go ahead and take a chance to talk about the matches that are going to be on this show and give my predictions on what's going to happen at the show. And at the end of WrestleMania, I'll record another video in which I'll review the matches and see how accurate I was, and just discuss what I liked and didn't like about the show. It is turning up to be a very good WrestleMania this year, potentially one of the best in years. WrestleMania is always a good show, but this year just is starting to look like it's going to be something special. So let's start with the card for WrestleMania Saturday, tomorrow night. First up, we have a 6-woman tag team match with Bianca Belair, Jade Cargill, and Naomi versus Damage Control, being Dakota Kai and the WWE Women's Tag Team Champions, Asuka and Kairi Sane. So for this match, I am predicting that it is going to be Bianca Belair, Jade Cargill, and Naomi getting the victory. This rivalry pretty much came out of the necessity for Bayley to have some support, which she didn't have up to this point. She was basically being attacked each week by Damage Control, so she has some support from this group. And also it's to give Jade Cargill her first real showing in WWE. She appeared in the Women's Royal Rumble, but hasn't done much since then, and she's getting a big chance here to get a shot at WrestleMania, which a lot of women who are more experienced in WWE are not on this card. So this is her big chance to get a big showing, and I predict that her team's going to win to give her a big win and a boost in the right direction. The next match to talk about is Rey Mysterio and Andrade versus Santos Escobar and Dirty Dominic Mysterio. We saw this match take shape tonight on SmackDown, getting ready, and I am predicting that, like last year, it is going to be the father beating the son, and Rey Mysterio and Andrade are going to beat Santos Escobar and Dirty Dominic Mysterio. Rey beat Dominic in a one-on-one match last year at WrestleMania, and it's just going to continue that way. Also, Andrade is newly back to the company, and I think they are going to have him get a big win at WrestleMania to again start building him back up now that he's back within the fold. Now, I also do see a possibility of Andrade turning on Rey Mysterio and costing him the match, giving Dominic the win over his father, but that's really the only way that I do see Dominic getting a W in this match. My prediction overall is Rey Mysterio and Andrade get the win. Next up, for the WWE Undisputed Tag Team Championships, we have a 6-pack ladder match challenge, and this is a match I'm very excited about. WWE WrestleMania ladder matches tend to be very good and very exciting. The 6 teams we have in this match are the Judgment Day, the Awesome Truth, the New Day, DIY, New Catch Republic, and A-Town Down Under. So we have a lot of good teams, a lot of athletic teams in this match, and so with a ladder match, you're expecting to see a lot of things happen. There will be a lot of excitement in this match, but what's going to happen of that, I am not entirely sure. Judgment Day has been being pushed very dominantly as of late, and WrestleMania a lot of times is the place where that dominant champion, or champions in this case, will be dethroned and we'll get a new champion incoming. I don't know if that is going to be the case this year, but it could be. We don't know. My overall pick, I believe that the Judgment Day is going to retain at the end of the night. Well, who I want to happen is I would like the Awesome Truth to come away with the tag team titles. And the next match to discuss is Jimmy Uso versus Jey Uso, brother versus brother. This match has me a little nervous. I think this one's been built up well, and I think they've built the story well over a long period of time, and I think it's going to deliver, and I think we're going to get a good brother versus brother match, probably the best one that we've had since Bret Hart versus Owen Hart at WrestleMania 10. However, WWE's tried to do brother versus brother before, and it just doesn't always seem to deliver in the way you might expect that it would. They tried it with Matt versus Jeff Hardy several years ago, and I feel like that match just didn't deliver in the way you would want it to. They even tried to do Cody Rhodes versus Goldust back in the day. This match, though, wasn't even on WrestleMania, of course. This was just on a lower pay-per-view. I can't remember exactly what show that was on. I'd have to look that up. But the simple fact is there was no crowd reaction to that match. It seems at the time they didn't want it. Now, they had a much better match over in AEW that I do believe received a better reaction. It's just, I don't think WWE got behind the concept of Cody versus Goldust. And if they had, I feel like that could have been a big rivalry and a big story to tell. Hey, here's hoping Goldust shows up to help Cody at WrestleMania, although he is in AEW, so I don't know if that's going to happen. My prediction for this match, Jimmy Uso versus Jey Uso, is that main event Jey Uso is going to pick up the win, although I do anticipate there is going to be interference from Solo Sikoa, which could give Jimmy the win, but I still think Jay is going to somehow pull it out. Okay, next match on Saturday night is the Intercontinental Championship match, Gunther versus Sami Zayn. For this match, my prediction is very simple. I'm predicting Gunther to retain his title, and that is because I just feel like it's not time for him to lose it. Gunther has made the Intercontinental Championship more relevant than it had been in years prior, and he has just been a dominant champion and the longest reigning champion to date right now, as we know. Some people might say, okay, it's time. WrestleMania is the time for someone to come in and dethrone him. I don't think that's right now, and I don't think Sammy's the guy to do it, at least not yet. I don't think they've properly built this rivalry between Sammy and Gunther up yet to the point where it's a big moment for Sammy to win the title from him, even though it's WrestleMania and they're trying to make it feel that way. I feel like the match came together rather quickly. I would have rather have seen Chad Gable in this spot, but at the same time, I don't know if I would have wanted him to win quite yet either. I don't know who I want to beat Gunther, but I just don't feel it. Sami Zayn had his big moment last year when he got to main event night 1 against the Usos in the Tag Team Championship match and managed to come away with the big victory there. So, is he going to repeat his success this year? He may, although like I said, I don't think it's the right time, and my pick and my hope is that Gunther will retain the Intercontinental Championship. Okay, 2 more matches for Saturday night. Next up is the Women's Championship match, Rhea Ripley versus Becky Lynch. They have been building this one up and trying to make it emotional, although they didn't build it up right away. They didn't have them come face to face for a few weeks right after the Royal Rumble, and I think that's because they wanted to do this storyline where it makes it seem like Becky's not taking Rhea Ripley seriously enough. And so now they've been clashing the last couple weeks. They've had some physicality. They've had some stuff outside of the ring on social media. I am predicting that Rhea Ripley is going to retain the Women's World Heavyweight Championship. My hope would be that Becky Lynch manages to overcome and regain the title. It's been quite a while since she's had a title, and I think it's time for the man to be on top yet again. I do think Rhea Ripley is a good Women's World Champion, but I don't think they've made the most of her Women's World title run this last year. I don't think she had enough title defenses. I don't know if that's partially because of health issues. There's been some things with her on social media wearing a heart monitor and things like that, so I don't know if they gave her a little bit of a lighter schedule. But she's had some great matches and some good rivalries in the last year since she won the title from Charlotte last year. But again, I don't think they made her 1-year title reign what it could have been. So for that reason, I'm hoping Becky Lynch is going to win, but I'm predicting that Rhea Ripley is going to win. And the final match for WrestleMania Saturday night is Cody Rhodes and Seth Rollins versus The Rock and Roman Reigns. And this match has the big stipulation that we know about because The Rock has explained it out in extreme detail, very slow, extreme detail every time. If Cody and Seth win, then the bloodline is barred from ringside in the main event of night 2. But if the Rock and Roman win, then the main event of night 2 is bloodline rules and anything goes. So, what's going to happen here. There's a lot that could happen. There's a lot that should happen. I wish they had done something extra special with this match. It's great that we're having The Rock back and he's actually wrestling. I would have loved to have seen them bring in something like a special guest referee, something like a Stone Cold Steve Austin to be the special enforcer, just to add an extra layer to this match. Or even Triple H, although Triple H can't really get physically involved anymore, which is a shame. But you know, somebody to be a special guest referee that could have made a difference and just added an extra layer to this match. But I'm predicting a lot of interference in this match. Some people are saying that they think Seth Rollins is going to screw over Cody or something along those lines. Drew McIntyre could get involved. Anything could happen. Solo and Jimmy are surely going to get involved. Jay's probably going to get involved at some point. A lot of things could happen in this match. But my overall prediction for this match, and it's actually what I think should happen as well, is I am predicting that The Rock and Roman Reigns are going to win this match, and the main event of night 2 is, and I think that is the way it should be for this match. And I'll explain why when I get to the main event of night 2. So with that, let's move on to that. Let's move on to WrestleMania night 2, Sunday night. And let's start off with, first, there is going to be a 6-man tag team match. It is Bobby Lashley and the Street Profits versus the Final Testament, which is Karrion Kross and the AOP. So this match, it's not the most interesting match to me, honestly. Bobby Lashley and the Street Profits, I feel like them being a group together should be good, but I feel it's also a situation where neither one of them needed to be in a group together, is forming this faction that they have formed. Bobby Lashley can stand on his own, and they've proved that so many times before. I loved Bobby Lashley in the Hurt Business, and I feel like that should have gone on way, way longer than it did. But they ended it, and it's gone, and he was then a dominant WWE champion for months and months by himself, and they haven't really pushed him back up to that level since he lost the title, and I don't know why, because Bobby Lashley is an absolute beast, and they should use him like he is one. And the Street Profits are an excellent tag team, and they don't need to be part of a faction as well. I feel like they're being minimized in this group rather than being allowed to shine in the tag team division as they were before when they were a single group. They should be tag team champions right now. It's a shame right now, actually, that they still have the undisputed tag team champions together, because we should have a set of tag team titles on each show, because there's a lot of good tag teams in WWE right now. So it would make sense to have the Raw tag team champions and the SmackDown tag team champions again, and I hope they split that up. And then we have Karrion Kross and the AOP, a group that they've just kind of thrown together, and they're calling them the Final Testament. Karrion Kross has been so hot and cold since coming into WWE this whole time. They just haven't seemed to figure out what to do with him and how to use him effectively. I don't know why. It seems like they used him very well in NXT when he first came in, and they just have not found the winning formula to continue that on the main roster in either of the times they've tried. But he's gotten to WrestleMania here. Overall in this match, I'm predicting Bobby Lashley and the Street Profits will pick up the win. And next up on Saturday night, we have the United States Championship Triple Threat match. We have Logan Paul, champion, versus Randy Orton and Kevin Owens in a Triple Threat match. Now, this match has been building. We have seen some things. We have seen Kevin Owens clashing with Logan Paul. Even Logan Paul mocking him back in the Elimination Chamber match while in his pod. And Logan Paul costing Randy Orton that match, which would have gotten him into the main event of WrestleMania, or one of the main events of WrestleMania, even though it's not. It's just they're calling it a title match because Roman's in both main events, as they're saying it. Been building well. Logan Paul is good at pushing people's buttons and getting people angry, and that's just what he does, and he's very good at it. He's actually a very good addition to WWE. You know, mostly times you bring in celebrities. I don't know if he counts as a celebrity, but I guess he's a social media influencer. But he's come in and he's been excellent. He's very good in the ring. He's very good at what he does. He takes care of his opponents, and I've been very impressed with him, and I'm a big Kevin Owens fan, a big Randy Orton fan, so this match has a lot going for it. The Viper has been on a good path since returning to the ring after a very long absence. Kevin Owens is also on a very good path. He's been, moving forward, although they haven't used him to the maximum of his ability. Kevin Owens can just do so much more. I really have been wanting Kevin Owens to get a major title again. Really, I want Kevin Owens to win a world championship again, and I think that needs to happen sometime in the near future. This match is going to be interesting. I really think it's time for Logan Paul to lose this title, and I'm predicting Randy Orton is going to come out with the win and the United States Championship. So what's next for WrestleMania Sunday? And that is the WWE Women's Championship match between Io Sky and Bayley. Now, Bayley, of course, won the Women's Royal Rumble match this year to get this opportunity. And I thought this was the way they were going to go. I didn't think they were going to have Bayley go after Rhea. It just didn't seem to fit. And they've been building this storyline with Bayley separating from Damage Control. Damage Control with Bayley was a good group, so them separating, I don't know if it was premature or what, but it's fine. Bayley needed a change, perhaps. She's been doing the heel persona for a long time, so going babyface again is probably a good idea, a way to freshen her up and do well. And I think Bayley's due for a big win here. So my prediction is Bayley comes out on top in this match and walks away with the WWE Women's Championship. Next up, we have the World Heavyweight Championship match between Seth freaking Rollins and Drew McIntyre. Seth has represented this title well since winning it. He's been a fighting champion. Heck, he already, in the amount of time he's had this title, has more title defenses than Roman Reigns has had in his title reign that has been 3.5 years long. So that speaks a lot right there. Seth is the first world champion of this new title's incarnation, but that's a good thing. He's been representing it well, doing a great job, giving that new championship value. But the other thing that gives that new championship value is that we need some other big names to hold it, in my mind. I think that the way to go is for Drew McIntyre to walk away as the new World Heavyweight Champion at the end of this night. Drew kind of deserves it as well. He had the unfortunate event happen where he was the WWE champion at a time when we were in the midst of the pandemic. He beat Brock Lesnar at WrestleMania, but it was not in front of an audience, so it wasn't the WrestleMania moment that he deserved. And I think he did a great job as WWE champion during the pandemic era. He led the championship well during that time. He defended the title well. He had great matches, and I think he hasn't really been treated that fairly, I'll say, since losing the title, and hasn't gotten back to that level. Even having the next WrestleMania where he fought Bobby Lashley for the title and lost, that was disappointing to me. I actually thought he was going to get his moment that year, but at the same time it made sense because it made Bobby Lashley look like a beast and kept him on this warpath that he was on. So it worked, but it just wasn't that fair to Drew in that moment. And they haven't given him another chance since. I mean, he's had title matches against Roman Reigns, and for the last year or 2 years, we've only had one title since the titles were unified when Brock and Roman had the match at WrestleMania 38. So we've only had one major championship until they brought about the new World Heavyweight Championship, and he's had a couple shots at that as well to get this additional opportunity. But I predict on this night it is going to be Drew's night, and he is going to walk away the new World Heavyweight Champion. And the last thing we have is the main event of WrestleMania Night 2, which is the undisputed WWE Universal Championship, which I've heard rumors that they're just going to go back to calling it the WWE Championship after Roman loses the title. Roman Reigns versus Cody Rhodes. And as I said, I predict that The Rock and Roman are going to win on night 1, which means this match is going to be Bloodline rules. And I think that's the way it needs to be. I think Cody needs to have every obstacle to overcome. And the reason he needs every obstacle to overcome is because that's what it's about. That's the story. The story is Cody chasing the title. That's what his father did. That's what Dusty did in the NWA. Dusty chased the title. He eventually won it a couple of times, but he never held it for very long because it wasn't actually about the championship or the championship reign. It was about the chase. And that's what I think it needs to be about for Cody. I want him to win it. I'd like him to have a good reign, but I don't think it needs to be a super long reign. He doesn't need to be the next Roman Reigns and have a super long title reign. I think he should hold it for a while and then lose it, and the chase should start again. It's not going to finish the story when he wins the championship, although it's going to bring the WWE Championship to the Rhodes family, something that family hasn't had and should have, because it is a legendary family in the wrestling business. But this doesn't end the story. It doesn't finish the story. It starts a brand new chapter in the story of Cody as a champion, as the champion in WWE, and someone who can be the champion at any time going forward after that. That's what I want to see. I'm predicting that it's going to be bloodline rules, but no matter what happens, no matter what interferences happen, no matter what the bloodline throws in his way, Cody Rhodes is going to overcome, and Cody Rhodes is going to win the WWE Championship at WrestleMania 40 on night 2. That's my prediction for that, and I hope I'm right. We have it, and those are my predictions for WrestleMania 40, both Saturday and Sunday night. I'll be watching the show very intently. Twitter, if you don't, I'll be tweeting live during WrestleMania 40 at Enter4Review, and I will be doing another video to give the results of WrestleMania 40 and give my thoughts on what occurred. No matter what, I think it's going to be a great show. I know I'm not going to get all these predictions right. I tend to do an okay job most years, but we'll see how I do when we do the review show. Thank you for listening, and please be sure to keep an eye out for that next video with the results, which should come probably on Monday. Thank you for listening.